Hi, it's Lesley Fightmaster. This is a class for releasing head, neck, and shoulder tension to help avoid headaches and also to de-stress. It can also be used if you have a headache, and I'll tell you where to stop. Or you could use it if you maybe had a little too much to drink, a little slight hangover. So Kristen Wu and Joe Miller and Emma Kubica and JTHREEN 84 all asked for this sort of a class. So we're going to begin standing at the front of the mat. Oh, and by the way, if you are interested in becoming a yoga teacher or you want to deepen your practice because you love yoga so much, leave me a comment. Okay, at the front of the mat, Samastitihi Tadasana pose. Take your feet parallel, either big toes together, heels slightly apart, or a little bit hips width. Press your thighs back and reach your tailbone toward the floor, and then lift your belly. Think about your pelvis like a bowl. If it comes too far forward, water would spill out the back. If it goes too far back, water would spill out the front. So we want a nice neutral pelvis, lengthening down. Lift the frontal hip bones up toward the low ribs. And then draw your front ribs in as you lift up your back ribs. And with your shoulders, you want to bring your shoulders up, back, down, and then let them soften and lift your chest like there's a string attached. Keep your chin parallel with the floor. Good posture is important to help reduce stress and headaches. It's part of the body. If you hunch, you'll probably get a headache. Inhale, the arms reach up. And as you exhale, palms face out and press down. So as you're standing, press evenly through all four corners of the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, lower the arms back down. So pressing through the base of the big toes, the little toes, the inner heel, the outer heel. One more time, inhale, reach your arms up as you root down through the feet. And as you exhale, palms facing out and bring them back down. Inhale again, sweep the arms halfway up. And this time, take your hands behind your back. Either press your fists together, or if you can press your palms back there, press the palms. Roll your shoulders back and draw your shoulder blades down. But make sure that your rib cage didn't pop out, and keep lengthening your tailbone toward your heels. I'm just going to take a couple of breaths here. If we keep our shoulders a little bit looser, and especially watch for tension around the neck and the jaw, we want to release all of that. These things will all help to reduce the possibility of a headache, or if you have one, this can help to let it go. And we'll release that. Inhale, arms halfway up. Take your right arm, cross it on top of your left. Either touch the backs of the hands or your palms, or if that doesn't work, touch your shoulders. Then you're going to lift the elbows up slightly, and again, draw the shoulder blades down. So this one, we're widening your shoulder blades so that, again, we're just loosening up the shoulder area to help with tension. So keep lifting through the chest. And continue to breathe in and out through the nose. And check again any tension around the neck or the jaw. Release that tension and just let it go. Every inhale, standing up nice and tall. Every exhale, release. Reach the arms halfway up again and switch. Left arm over right. Touch the backs of the hands or the palms, or touch your shoulders. Lift your elbows up as you drop your shoulder blades down. Keep lifting the chest. And again, come back to your steady breath. So even taking longer breaths will really help to relieve stress and tension. So if you're having one of those days, just breathe. Take a few really long breaths and check to see if your shoulders are up around your ears and if you've got your jaw just clenched. Release the arms back down. So if you have a strap, you may want to use it. Reach your right arm up, spin the tricep in towards your face, bend your elbow. Take your left hand behind you. If you can grab your hands, you'll grab the hands. If you have a strap, a yoga strap, you could use that. If you don't have either, then you can hold onto your clothing. So it doesn't matter how deep you get into a stretch. So inhale the right arm up, spin the tricep in. Take your right hand to your upper back. Take your left arm behind you. Roll your left shoulder back. Clasp your hands or use the strap or hold your shirt. So yeah, it never matters how deep you get into the stretch. It just matters that you feel the stretch, because now the blood is moving into those areas. So oxygen, blood moving in, toxins, sluggishness moving out. So you can get that nice movement in the shoulders. Let's release that, and we'll do the other side. So left arm up, spin the tricep in toward the face, bend the elbow, point it straight up to the ceiling, right arm out to the side, thumb down, and then take that behind your back, clasp, or whatever you need to do. Make sure that your ribs don't pop out. So I stuck my ribs out so you could see. Don't do that. Keep reaching the tailbone toward the heels. You're still spinning the left tricep in toward your face as you keep lifting the elbow straight up and still rolling the right shoulder back to widen through your collarbones. Continue breathing. Release any stress, any tension again in your neck, and release. We're going to come down to the floor sitting and then lie onto your back. Take your heels under the knees and your ankles right under the knees and the outer edges of the feet parallel. Inhale, lift in a bridge. So pull the belly in, lift the hips, low back, mid back, maybe upper back, and exhale, slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. And we'll do a couple. So inhale. Lift up, keep your chin away from your chest, draw your shoulder blades still down away from the ears. Exhale and lower back down slowly. And again, inhale, press through the feet, through the heels as you lift up, spiral your thighs in toward each other. Keep reaching the tailbone to the backs of the knees. Exhale, begin to lower slowly, one vertebra at a time. Inhale and lift. This one will clasp the hands if you can. Roll the shoulders under and we'll hold for a few breaths. You can also hold on to your low back with your hands if that works for you. Just kind of rest into your hands. Or if you happen to have a yoga block, you'll put it under the base of your spine. You can put it, I have it up all the way. You don't have to put it up that high. You can put it at the medium or low height as well. And it's just a very nice, relaxing pose. And it helps to, again, open up the shoulders a bit in the upper back. Continue your nice steady breath. Inhale to breathe space in your body. And exhale to release any tension. And then move the block out of the way if it's there, or lower back down. And soles of your feet together, knees apart into Supta Baddha Konasana. One of my very favorites. Just take a couple breaths here, and you can stay right there, or if you happen to have any blankets or pillows around, you can make yourself a little bolster by putting pillows on top of each other, putting another at the top, or yoga blankets if you have them. Then you're going to sit right in front of your bolster and lean back with the soles of feet together, knees apart. I have 2 blocks that I can put underneath my thighs. You don't have to. You can use rolled up towels, whatever you have. If you have nothing, just lie on the floor. We're going to be here for about 10 breaths, but if you have the time, just push the pause button. You can stay here as long as you like. The poses after this are only to help reduce the chance of getting a headache. If you already have a headache, you'll just want to stay right here and keep breathing. So again, as you inhale, create space in your body. As you exhale, release any tension, any tightness, anything that's no longer serving you. And inhale, bring your knees together. Move the blocks off to the side, roll off to your right side, and then press your left hand into the floor. Come up slowly with your head coming up last. If you did have things on your mat, I'm just going to move them. I'm moving them in front for a supported child's pose. So instead of taking my head on the floor, this time I'm going to take my head on my pillows, but I am going to show other variations. However, child's pose, may not feel very good if you have a headache. If your head is lower than your heart, then the blood will rush down to the head and it probably won't feel so good. So this is a pose that helps to release stress and tension. But if you have a headache, you'll skip it. Then if you have a yoga block, here's a variation, just taking the forehead and resting it on the block. And sometimes it feels nice to have the block just in the center of your forehead, and that's where your third eye is, and it kind of feels good to put a little bit of pressure there. And again, let everything else just relax. Or if you don't have any props at all, put one hand on top of the other hand, make fists with your hands, and just rest your head right onto your hands. Now, extend your arms out. Come up onto your knees and tuck your toes, come into down dog. Again, only if you do not have a headache. Stretch out your spine. And then take your feet about as wide as your mat, and you can get a little more stretch. If you happen to have a block, you could rest your head right on the block, or you can build up blankets or pillows. And again, this is another pose that is very nice, relaxing. However, if it is not for you, then stick with child's pose. But this one, as you are in the pose, keep lifting the shoulder blades up toward the waist. Make sure again that there's no tension, no bunching up of muscles around the neck. And then release the jaw. And my hands are a little bit wider than shoulder distance as well, just to give some space in the shoulders. And then we're just going to walk the feet toward the hands, or the hands toward the feet, and take a forward fold. And I'm just resting again on the block. So if you have a block, then rest on it. If you don't, just fold forward and hold on to your opposite elbows, or you can let your arms hang down toward the floor if they touch. Or if you have two blocks, you can just stay up a little higher with your hands on the blocks. And I'm just allowing, again, any tension to slip away, just right out of your neck, out of your head. Allow it to leave you alone. Steady breathing. Inhale, coming halfway up with your hands on the blocks. Make a nice flat back here. And hands on blocks, or if you don't have blocks, put them on your shins. But bring your heart forward and continue to draw your shoulder blades down towards your waist. We don't want any tension up around the neck here as well. Shift the weight a little forward toward the balls of the feet. And then we're going to take those blocks away and come on up to standing. I'm taking my mat over to a wall. So find a wall where you can have about the bottom half of the wall available to you. We're going to take our legs up the wall. And this is called Viparita Karani, legs up the wall pose, and it's very relaxing. So sit with your right hip up against the wall. And then with your right hip up against the wall, you're going to swing your legs up the wall as you lean back onto the mat. And let your shoulder heads just descend toward the floor. And again, check for tension. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Allow your jaw to be soft. And come back to your steady breath. Now this pose, if you do have a headache, it's okay. You could stay in this pose for as long as you like. If you want to push the pause button and stay in the pose, I think I stayed for about 10 breaths. But you could stay here for a good 10 minutes and it would be wonderful. It helps to elicit the relaxation response in the body, which lowers the blood pressure and helps to relax you. One of my yoga teachers used to call this the yogi's 5 o'clock happy hour. It's a good release. So bend your knees. Roll off to one side. Pause for a moment. And then let your head come up last as you press yourself up. From here, we're going to come right into Shavasana. So again, if you have a headache, it's okay. Shavasana is fine. Or it's also good to try to get rid of a headache or avoid one. Release your ujjayi breathing, just natural breath, and allow everything to just sink right into the floor. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, soften the jaw, soften the shoulder blades. Rest. So while you're here, I'm going to read this quote for this class. This is a quote by BKS Iyengar, and he just passed away yesterday, August the 20th, 2014, and he was an extraordinary man. He helped to bring yoga here to the United States. He helped to bring yoga to all around the world. He lived until he was 95, and he gave us so much that we practice today. And he said, "Yoga is like music. The rhythm of the body, the melody of the mind, and the harmony of the soul create the symphony of life." So start to draw the knees into the chest, and then just take your knees off to your left side and turn and look over your right shoulder for a nice little twist. It's good for the neck as well. Although if it does bother your neck to look over the right shoulder, then keep looking up. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the other side. Look over your right shoulder. And then we'll slowly press ourselves up to seated. Take a nice comfortable position, and again, draw the shoulder blades down, lift the chest, sit up nice and tall. A lot of our stress can have to do with our posture, so check your posture during the day, especially if you sit a lot. And then close your eyes, hands to heart center. Take a moment to honor and respect yourself and all the wonderful things that make you who you are. Let's bring the hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. Hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful comments. I love to hear from you. And thank you for subscribing. Oh, thank you so much for the donations. Oh my goodness, they help more than I could ever tell you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.